Dan sat at the kitchen table, his head in his hands. Bills were stacked high and his thoughts raced, trying to come up with a solution. He had always been a hard worker, but lately it seemed like no matter how much effort he put in, it wasn't enough. The stress was taking its toll. His wife, Maria, came over and sat beside him, rubbing his back. Dan, we've been through tough times before. You've always found a way, she said softly, her voice full of warmth. But Dan wasn't convinced. I've tried everything I can think of, Maria. Nothing's working. I feel like I'm failing you, failing our family. Maria smiled gently. You're not failing us. You're just looking outside for answers. Maybe it's time to look within. Dan raised his eyebrows. Look within? What do you mean? Maria took his hand and whispered, You've been chasing solutions outside of yourself, but maybe the answer is closer than you think. Maybe it's time to seek God's guidance. The light inside you can show you the way. That night, Dan lay awake, his mind racing. Maria's words echoed in his heart. The answers are within. He wasn't sure what it meant, but a small spark of hope flickered inside him. He remembered the dreams he had as a child, dreams of running his own business, of creating something that could help others. He had buried those dreams under years of worry and disappointment, but now he began to wonder, could the answers really lie inside me, as Maria said? He decided to pray, asking God for clarity, for guidance. As he closed his eyes, a sense of peace washed over him. He felt the light in his heart, a warmth that seemed to fill every part of his being. It was as if the weight of the world had been lifted off his shoulders, and in its place there was a quiet assurance. The next morning, Dan woke up feeling different. The anxiety and doubt were still there, but now they felt distant, almost insignificant. His mind was clearer, and he knew deep down that something had changed. He sat down at the table with a notepad and started writing. He had always wanted to create a business that could help families like theirs. But it was more than just a way to make money. It was a way to serve, to offer something meaningful. As the ideas began to flow, he realized that the business he had always dreamed of could become a reality. It wasn't about following the latest trends or copying others' success. It was about following his passion, doing things with integrity, and trusting in God's plan. Dan looked over at Maria, who was preparing breakfast. I think I know what I need to do, he said, his voice filled with newfound confidence. With Maria's encouragement, Dan took the first steps toward building the business. He trusted in the light within him, the guidance he felt in his heart, and the wisdom he had found in his prayers. As he worked, he saw Jesus leading him in unexpected ways, showing him a better path, a way to do things that align with his values. The business began to grow, but more importantly, Dan's spirit was restored. He realized that the true success wasn't in financial gain, but in living with purpose, following God's guidance, and trusting that the answers were always within him. And as he looked at Maria smiling at him with pride, he knew that no matter what challenges they faced, they would always find the way together, with the light of God leading them forward. Follow the true light.